Hello friends, this is my YouTube channel I2Grow. You can watch it for a strongly foundation of information technology and promises you to give you conceptual knowledge in computer. Keep watching for latest videos. Time to time I will come with the latest video in computer. Thank you.
So in this video, I wanted to talk about the page layout tab, where you can change your margins, orientations, and add grid lines. So I'll talk about all of these things in this video. So under page layout, that's what these buttons are. Now, the first thing you can do is you can change your margins. I can make the margins narrow. That means I don't spend too much space on the top and the bottom. You can also choose to go to custom margins so that I can reduce it to whatever I want it to be. On the top, I can reduce it, or on the bottom, or on the left or the right. And I can also choose to put my information in the center of the page by putting the check marks in the box, and I can go to print preview, and you see my information is in the middle. Now if you found that you did not see any information here, just make sure that up here this says active worksheet and not just selection, because if you choose only selection, it will only show you the cell you are clicked on rather than your active sheet. Let's just go back. So that's under margins. Now if you wanted, you could change your orientation. That is, you want it to be portrait, which is standing up, or landscape, which is sideways, because a lot of time in Excel you tend to have lots of columns, so you may choose to make it landscape. Now I'll go to print preview from here, and there it is landscape. Now if you wanted, you could go to page setup right from here. You see on the left hand side bottom, you can go to page setup right from print preview. And here again you can start changing to portrait. I click OK, and it changes right away. I can go back to page setup. I can control the margins from here, and I can remove the check marks to put it back to where it was, like started from the top. So it goes back to the top. Yeah, I can come back. So a lot of the things you can do from these buttons. If you wanted, you could go to the page setup more option. This symbol stands for more. And now you can start making a whole bunch of changes in one place. Do these different sections rather than doing it from these buttons. I'll show it to you both ways. Okay, so that's the page options, margins, landscape can be changed from here. I can do the scaling part. Scaling means I want to adjust it to, and I want to increase it, say 20% larger than what it is. So I'm going to increase the font size to be printed. You can even reduce it to 50% of the size. If I click go to print preview, and you see that the words that I have are larger in size now than before. I can even go to page setup from here, and I can reduce it. I can reduce this 120% to say back to 100%, and you see how the font size became small. Now in the same page setup, you can actually make it fit to one page. That is, if I had 2 pages, I can force it into 1 page, or 3 pages into 2 by choosing the options here. I'll come back here. So that is from page setup more. But the scaling can be done from here too. I can increase it to 120% right here. And I can go to print preview. And now the words are bigger. So that's scale to fit, where you can force the information to fit in one page, or you can increase the font sizes. The grid lines. So let me show you. When I go to print preview, you see there are no lines around my cells. Those are known as grid lines. I'll go back. If I want it, I can say grid lines printed. And if I come back to print preview, you see now I have a borders around my cells and also a dotted line. So the dotted lines are known as grid lines. That's what the dotted lines are for. And I can remove it if I didn't want it. You can also get to that when you go to page setup more, and on the sheet you see the option print grid lines. Now in the same page setup, I can go to headers and footers, and I can choose one of these headers like page number or something, or I can do a custom header. Now in the center I can type my name. In the left, if I wanted, I can put the page number, or I can insert a date, and on the right hand side, if I want, I can put the time, and there are other things you can add to it. And I click OK, and I click OK. Let's go to print preview, and there's my header on the top. I'll go back. Now you could go to page setup more for the headers and footers, or you can go to insert, and then from here you can go to headers and footers. And there it is, and now I can highlight something and I can use the header and footer tools to add the headers and footers, date, or number of pages. If I want, I can just click page number, and you can scroll down and you can go to the footer, or from here you can click on the footer and you can choose to add any of these footers. So say I wanted to add page 1 of something, and it will put that there. Now if you wanted to come back to the regular view, on the right hand on the bottom there is this button here which is for normal view. You can click that, or you can go to view and then come back to normal. Now let's look at the print preview, and there it is. There's the header, and on the bottom you can see the footer, and you can always print from here. And come back. And one last thing, under page layout, I want to mention to you what is known as print titles. What this does is that it repeats certain rows or columns on all your sheets automatically. So say for example, this list of employees, I had maybe 1,000 names. There are 1,000 people working in this company. So I'll end up having 5 different pages that we're printing one after the other. And I want to make sure that all my pages have these headings, the employees and hours. So to do this, I'm just going to highlight this information. I'll copy it. And I'm going to scroll down. And you see these lines, these dotted lines means that this is the start of page 2. And I'll go to home and I'll paste this information here. Now when I go to print preview, now I should have 2 pages. If you see on the bottom, this is page 1. Now when I go to page 2, you see page 2 doesn't have the headings employees. So I don't know which is dollar and things. So I can add it. So let's do that. So under page layout, there's this option called print titles. I click it. And there is the rows to repeat. So I'm going to scroll up. I click in the box for rows to repeat and I click on number 1. Now if I wanted to repeat more than 1 row, then I just point to number 1, left click and hold it, and I drag. So then it will repeat 1 to 3. If I just want 1, I'll just click it and I'll click OK. Let's look at print preview, or you can go to print preview right from this box here. And this is page 1. There is the employee hours on the top. I'll go to next page, and it also shows employee hours, dollar per hour, gross pay. So this is called print titles, which is repeat the rows, or I could repeat the columns if I wanted to repeat the columns if I was having information going sideways. There is also this button called print area, which is if I highlight certain things, and I can go to print area and I can set the print area. That means whenever anybody prints, this is the information that should be printed. So now when I go to print preview, I will only see 1 page and it shows me the cells that I had highlighted which are set to be printed. I can click on the print area and I can clear the print area, and you see the lines that shows me that only this area will be printed, and I can clear this. This is a nice way to make sure that you don't print or anybody else prints information that is not needed. You can change the size of the paper, so sometimes you may want to print it in a different size. You can choose it from here. So that's it in this video.
Thank you. Thanks for watching my videos. like my channel.